Hey guys, just finished watching Supergirl, Season 4, Episode 5, Parasite, Lost. This episode was kind of interesting. Again, all I'm using is my brother's old laptop. I have mine still getting repaired and stuff, so I should have it by this weekend. Fingers crossed. We'll have to wait and see as to where things go with my computer, but hopefully I should have it ready by next weekend. So we see that this episode we deal a bit with the hate group, and we see that James is kind of dealing with that, but yet in this episode, they only kind of have like an online presence. We only hear about them online type thing. We don't really see them doing anything. It looks like in the next episode, based on the trailer, they'll be a little bit more active, so that'll be more interesting to see that. Because right now, it should be nothing new. It's kind of someone even. Lena Luthor kind of shrugs them off as just internet trolls all the time, right? And I think that's more the proper reaction to them at this point in this episode, rather than the way Carl reacts, the way James reacts is kind of overboard. They're internet trolls at this point, right? It's in the next episode when they start to get physical, start to get violent type thing, and that's when things start to change, because internet trolls have been around since the internet, right? And they've been around just human nature, kind of to hate something like that. So it's kind of just it's part of being human. Is probably not good. Most people would like to kind of wipe that away, but it's just there's no way you're going to get rid of internet trolls and that that version of humanity. It's always going to be, there's always going to be that part of humanity, right? But it's just how far do they go? Do they go more than just saying what they want to say without doing anything? Words is one thing, but actions are a whole nother, right? So I think that's really going to be interesting to see as to kind of where things kind of go with all this in the next few episodes. So we see that Jensen can take powers from aliens since he had the parasite put inside of him, and he kills them while he does it, right? The general powers of Parasite. Now, we didn't get to see Parasite in this episode, like his actual comic book form. We did see him last time in the other episode because he was just some random guy who, looked like a parasite, right? And then he was able to turn in, whereas here we had Jensen stuff, a different version kind of playing with him. So I kind of like how we have this character. I think it's going to be cool to see as to kind of where things go, where we play again with Parasite. So we see that Colonel Haley praises Alex in this episode, and I like the way they're doing stuff with Colonel Haley. And just kind of, I think it was kind of, at first when I saw her last episode, I thought, oh my god, she's going to be that class, she's going to be too predictable of a character, she's going to be in Alex's way, and Alex is going to have to lie to her to keep Kara's secret safe, and all this stuff, and that's where there's going to be some sort of strife in there. She's going to be step in the way and stop Alex from doing things, and I like the way things are going with this. They're going a less kind of predictable route, and they're going with a different sort of like, she's she's on Alex's side all the way until the end of the episode, where she revealed that she's kind of anti-alien. She was kind of one of the people who voted to have John Jones removed from the DEO when he revealed himself back in season 1, and I think that's an interesting idea. Is they're both after the same thing. It's just she's not being this negative thing completely in Alex's way. They might be best friends at work type thing. Now she's did put her foot down, kind of made her kind of salute and all this stuff. But hopefully they don't. I like the idea of playing her as some sort of, keeping her as a little bit like kind of not a thorn in Alex's side, but just kind of like, ooh, we can't do this or that. Happy and Alex's had it just gets too predictable and too kind of cliche, kind of obvious that that she's going to be the one to kind of get in Alex's way just because she doesn't agree with things and all the different things like that. And hopefully we can see that relationship kind of continue on with that, because I like the idea of playing it with where they the way they see things differently is deep down, and I think that could be something interesting to see where things go with that, and instead of having her just being annoying character. That's what it looked like she was going to get set up as, is the annoying character that just gets in Alex's way all the time. So I think that hopefully they don't do anything like that. So we see that Carl and Nina kind of end up interviewing Haley, and we get nothing too much from Nina in this episode. I think last episode we got a little bit of tease of her powers and stuff when she woke up from a nap and thought that, things are going to go bad if you go back out as Guardian, and it did, right? And that's her powers as Dreamer, right? So that's going to be cool to see more about that, but we didn't get anything here. We see James is still worried about the hate group and stuff. He's watching kind of the hate stuff online. He's watching Ben Lockwood's speech and stuff. He's kind of obsessing with it, and that's when Lena kind of just says, no, they're just internet trolls. Just ignore them, right? We see Jensen ends up taking Supergirl's heat vision when he ends up fighting her, but he can't kind of keep the powers. They kind of fade away after a while. So I think that's really cool seeing that, and he ends up getting some different powers. We see Alex doesn't want Supergirl fighting Parasite anymore because we don't want Parasite to get Supergirl's strength and stuff, and then that's kind of something that would be kind of really dangerous. We see Jensen can't get it. We find out that you see Jensen and he can't get enough energy and stuff to see what the kind of where things are going to go with that. And so, because Parasite can only absorb so much energy, then he kind of needs more, right? We see Kara is kind of shocked at the comments on the article. Again, we're just bringing that back up, which is kind of like she should be used to that. She's been a reporter for how long? How many articles has she put out now? She must have put out, especially now that James is running this place. She's very fast. Jumped to the lead reporter, which again, I guess is something that they should be playing with. Showing that who was the lead reporter before. I mean, when Cat Grant allowed her to choose another job as to leave the assistant role to getting another job, and she chose a job as reporter, and you had Snapper Carr. I think Snapper Carr was fired by James Olsen, but had to been a lot of other people underneath in between, seniority and top reporter. Carr can't be the top reporter at Cadco. There must be a lot of people in there. There must be a lot of reporters that are there that have more seniority, more that have been there longer, and more more seniority, more power over Kara, and more like they would probably get this huge interview that they got in the beginning right there. That just seems a bit fast that Kara's kind of jumped to top reporter so fast. Now I understand she would get obviously the exclusives of Supergirl and all that stuff because she is Supergirl, the whole Clark Kent effect, right? It makes sense. And also she has the credit of Clark Kent and stuff. So I don't know, just maybe someone needs to pick it up. Maybe it'd be cool to see an episode where another reporter tries to get the scoop, but tries to kind of fight Kara on that, kind of like they did when an episode ago, but like in season 1 when they had when Cat Grant had had Siobhan Smythe as assistant number 2 type of thing. I think that would be an interesting idea to play with that, just to kind of get someone to kind of poke up as to this is kind of why is Carl getting all the good stories over someone else who's probably been there longer and all that stuff. That'd be something to cool play with. But we see that the healer in this episode, we see the healer that Carl and Mina were interviewing and ends up dying and stuff. Someone stole the gem out of his neck there, type thing. He had a gem right around there. We find out that it's Jensen stole the healer, so he could collect, and he uses the stone to kind of collect powers and stuff. Now he can collect powers without them disappearing. And which was weird about that is that he collected powers, and then all of a sudden the powers he got before getting the stone came back. So the first power he took from that guy, from the fire Human Torch looking guy, all of a sudden he has those powers back. So that's kind of weird. I guess it makes sense that once he took that guy's life force, it's kind of still in him, and he still has the memory or something how to do it. But it's just kind of weird. It's just all of a sudden all the powers he ever took were just coming back to him and stuff. Or maybe he met another alien like that. I'm assuming that guy wasn't the only one of his race on Earth, right? So maybe there could be more in National City. We see Alex ends up talking Jensen down throughout the episode, and again, that was okay. It was kind of cool, but it was just kind of the usual what you expect from Supergirl, kind of an anticlimactic ending with someone kind of talking them down. It was like, yeah, okay, but it's not kind of a speech that's gonna I'm gonna remember or anything like that. And at the end of the episode, throughout a lot of the episode, we see a lot of people talking about how John Jones is the one to go to for if aliens, need a detective solving a mystery and like that, and they can't turn to the police. And I think that's really going to be cool to kind of playing with that. He even puts on the classic. He puts on a detective's hat type of thing, and it's really going to be cool to get into that classic comic book look, where in the comic books he actually is a detective and stuff. And I think that's kind of really cool to see him doing that. I think that's really going to be cool, maybe getting some detective mysteries and stuff, or maybe that's where he could kind of undercover the Supergirl, the Russian Supergirl storyline, which again, we still don't have anything into it. We keep getting teased and reminded about it, but we don't get anything further on in that, not even a tease and reminded about it in this episode. So we see James at the end of this episode ends up calling Ben Lockwood after, he had already told him no, he didn't want to be associated with him. So I think that's going to be cool to see as to kind of where things are going with that. And obviously the way they kind of they shot the scene, the way they play it and stuff, is it looks like, oh my god, why is James calling Ben Lockwood, type thing. Whereas I feel like it's probably going to be some sort of thing where he's going to be like, yeah, hey, I'll do an interview with you, right? And he does the interview with him, and he puts out some of this stuff there, but then they kind of spin it to make it look like it's going to make Ben Lockwood look bad, and he's going to spin it his way, pro alien type thing. And I think that's going to be interesting to see as to kind of how things go with that, because obviously James is not going to be against him. He's James Olsen, he's Jimmy Olsen, he's Superman's pal, right? So he's not going to be going against aliens or anything like that. So I think it's going to be cool to see as to kind of where things go with that, and when he kind of he lets Ben Lockwood tell his story, tell his side of the story, and then he tells the others, and he has the other side that kind of makes him look like a fool type thing to discredit him. I think that's going to be cool to see as to how things go with that, and what is going to be Ben Lockwood's kind of what is going to be his turn point, right? And I think that's going to be interesting to see as to kind of where things kind of go with that. So yeah, all in all, kind of interesting to see where things going with this, but I'd like to see a little bit more of the story kind of continuing on. I'd like to see more of I know it's only episode 5, like 20 or something like that, but I'd like to see, or 23, but I'd like to see a little bit kind of move forward with the Supergirl, the Russian Supergirl storyline, and to see as to kind of where things could connect with there. So I'm all excited for the John Jones becoming a detective and things like that, and that's what we're going to be fun to see as to kind of where things go with all that. So all in all, kind of excited to see as to where things go, but I just don't think that this episode is going to be kind of a memorable episode. It's not an episode that I would be like, if you're not following this show type thing and you're just a casual DC fan but you don't watch any of the TV shows, it's not one I'd be like, boom, watch it. Like my father doesn't watch any of the shows, but it's not an episode to be like, yo, you got to watch this episode. That's not one of those episodes. I don't think that's really what one of those episodes is what it was meant for, but yeah, it is what it is. But it was an okay episode. Yeah, so kind of a forgetful episode, but just an okay episode. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. Season 4, Episode 5, Parasite, Lost, of Supergirl, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.